Welcome to day 2 of 31 Nights of Horror. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Little Monsters, 1989's Little Monsters.
Little Monsters, Fred Savage, Howie Mandel.
Moving to a new town is tough, especially when your little brother swears there's a monster under his bed. 11-year-old Brian, played by Fred Savage, thinks it's all nonsense until he sets up a trap and actually catches one. Enter Maurice, played by Howie Mandel, a blue-skinned Dorito-loving troublemaker who drags Brian into the wild monster world under every kid's bed. It's like a dreamland of junk food, video games, and pranks until Brian realizes that there's a darker side. You see, all the monsters used to be kids, but the longer Brian hangs out in this underworld, the closer he gets to transforming himself into a monster. Things take a serious turn when Eric, Brian's little brother, played by Ben Savage, you may know him from Boy Meets World, is kidnapped by Stink and taken to the lair of Boy, the creepy ruler of the monster world. With the help of his friends and a whole lot of flashlights, Brian battles through slime, shadows, and nightmare fuel to save his brother. Little Monsters is kind of like a goofy, gross, but a heartwarming story about like friendship and kind of escapism. It's an 80s cult gem. It's kind of like sitting around that cusp between 80s and 90s. And as a child watching, and even as an adult rewatching this movie, it's still a lot of fun. It's still weird to see Ben Savage as like a tiny little kid, because you used to see him in like as a teenager in like Boy Meets World. You used to see Fred Savage. This was kind of on the heels of his Wonder Years time. Let me know in the comments if you did this, or if you did see this movie, you kind of like touched underneath your bed to see if your hand would go through the floor, because maybe you had an underworld under your bed, or at least you hoped, to get out of this, whatever this was, to go and run amok on the underworld with monsters and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, sometimes looking back at it, maybe turning into a monster and getting trapped in there wasn't the most terrible thing. But I mean, there's a lot of gross elements in this film, especially that main villain, Boy. there's a scene where it gets really kind of gross. Like they show his face and you could see the edges are kind of like all greasy and glossy and stuff like that. And then they cut to the back of his head and it's just like this blood brain goop. It's it's really creepy, but it's really cool though. Howie Mandel and Fred Savage together had really good chemistry. They played well off each other. It seems like at that time Howie Mandel was playing like a really goofy, childlike characters, and he fits into this Maurice character very well. And of course, if you see what Howie Mandel looks like, and then you see a side by side of Maurice, it's hard to like even fathom that they're the same person, or that person is playing Maurice, because he does just a really good job. He like disappears into the character of Maurice. I was just recently able to acquire a copy of Little Monsters on Steelbook, and I'm very happy about it. And it's just one of those films that I'll enjoy as I get older. I've enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoyed it as a teenager, and now, even now, it's just a fun watch. Especially if you think like, I'm not sure if this was pre-Home Alone, where Fred Savage is like booby trapping the bedroom to catch Maurice. It seems, again, I wasn't sure if it's if it's 19, or maybe it was around the same time, like the whole Home Alone, Kevin McAllister, booby trap in the house, Fred Savage's character, booby trap in the bedroom. I'm pretty sure, are there other movies with kids like booby trapping rooms or houses, or just making booby traps in general to capture the Goonies? Data does that. He sets booby traps everywhere. But yeah, this is a fun movie. Definitely check it out. It's a little edgier, I guess, gross out wise, but it's still a fun family film. I think families can watch it together. It's not too traumatic to watch, I guess, depending on the sensitivity of whoever's watching the film. But definitely check it out. I love Little Monsters. Tell me what you think in the comments. Have you seen it? Are you going to see it? Definitely check it out. I think it's streaming somewhere. Well, see you next time.